Friends, as for today, it's all about some African foods you will need to discover and taste for longevity. Welcome to Prime Testimony Channel. I know you've been missing me for a very long time. I promise you, I am back and back for good. I'm excited. Aren't you excited? We have every reason to be excited when God gives you the grace and the ability to be able to live. The COVID is still on, but we are trusting that very soon everything will end so that we can live our normal lives. We are going to talk about food. Yes, some African foods, specifically some Ghanaian foods that some people from this generation know about, others may not have even heard about some of them. I remember some years back when we were children, whether you were living on the mountains or whether we were living down the hills or in the valleys, wherever we were on our motherland, life was good. Our water bodies were good. We had preserved our ecosystems, and we had this beautiful forest. The streams were clean, even the rainwater, everything was good. Our vegetables and our fruits had not experienced, any artificial chemicals, so everything was natural. We were healthy, we were active, and we had few diseases. In fact, cancers were known to be some kind of, diseases that attack some people in other parts of the world. Even high blood pressure was associated with the old. It's not like now that even the younger ones are contracting some of these diseases. And how did we come to this stage? All because people decided to eat like other people. And once you forget your culture and you want to live like other people, sometimes you may not, experience the kind of health that you need. So we are going to look at food like pusa, something like Mankini, or what other people call it, akao. We have one we call a Siata. We have Mankini chimi, others call it impoto or mpiuhu. We have the popular apapransa. We have one we called dabrabayewa. We have a piti, we have bodo, we have potokuma, and then we also have oto. In fact, there are a lot. These ones are very common among the Akans, and I think we will have to look at the other traditions and other ethnic groups, a kind of food that is also popular among them, so that we share in due time. I want us to begin talking about pusa. Pusa is very simple. It just sliced yam that you cook with it together with the peels. And according to nutritionists, when you cook them together, certain nutrients enter the yam and it gives its taste and it becomes more healthy it's healthier to eat as compared to the sliced one. So we called it pusa. It's simply cooking the yam with the peels. We usually slice them, wash them thoroughly before we cook them. We have the one we call Mankini chimi. In the Igmaku area, they call it Mankini Mporhum, or the Ashantis and other people also call it akao. It means that you wash the cocoyam and you cook it together with the peels, and it's nice. And as you eat, you remove them. And we have the one we call a siata, which I know a lot of people may not have heard of. The siata is just a normal ripe plantain. That one you remove the peels, and then you bake it. Usually, you bake it in an oven. You first of all lay leaves of plantain leaves like this. Sometimes it can be big, sometimes it can be as long as about 4 or 5 feet. This is a very small one. And then after you have heated the oven and you've cleared the the fire and everything, you lay this one on the floor of the oven, and then you put the ripe plantain that you remove, you put on them, arrange them nicely, and then you do what? And then you bake them. That is what we called, a siata. In fact, in the olden days, this bread that we call tea bread in Ghana, that was how it was also, baked. After you have made that dough, condo, then you will put them in sliced bamboo. With those times, they didn't have these pans, aluminum pans. So you have sliced bamboo, which is usually kept, and then they will put the tea bread inside and you bake them. And let me put on record that among the fancies in the Jumaco area, one woman called Esi Esumama, who lives in Bakado in the Jumaco Besiansi, was the first person who went to Kumasi to learn how to do tea bread. And then he came to Besiansi and then he taught a lot of people. Tea bread is also known as pano eku. So Auntie Esumama, who was from Bakado, she was the who introduced him to people in Besiansi and in 1959. Then let us also look at Mankini chimi. Others also call it mpoto. Others also call it impiuhu. That one, you prepare your usual palm soup with your fish, with your spices and everything. And then when you are cooking the mpoto, you don't wait for the palm soup to get well cooked. Midway, then you will slice small pieces of cocoyam, and then you dip them inside the boiling palm soup, and you start stirring them, and by the time the whole apapransa will be by the time you will finish with the poto, it will be well cooked. So it's so simple. It's like a palm soup that you've mixed pieces of cocoyam, but as you stir it, it will mix with it and it will be very, very nice. As I said, some call it mankini chimi, others call it poto, others also call it impiuhu. And that one, you must serve it very hot. Then we have one, I like that one very well, we call it apapransa. Apapransa too is like, it's prepared like the way mankini chimi is done, but it's only the ingredients that differ. That one, you prepare your palm soup, usually locally we call it a benkwan. And then we add what we call the brusam. A brusam, the maize, what you do is that you roast it first, and then you grind it for it to become powder. And then as you prepare the palm soup, then you dip them inside little by little, and then you stir it, and it becomes very thick. And usually this one is served at parties, when you go to birthday parties, engagements, and weddings, and it's really, really nice. Sometimes they garnish it with koto, that's the crabs, and then they add other types of fish, usually the dried fish, and it's very nutritious. I will encourage you that when you come to Ghana, specifically, and other West African countries that may know how to prepare this, of course it originated from Ghana, you will really like it. And we encourage our hotels to serve them. A few hotels that have started serving them, we encourage them to do that. We have the one a lot of people don't know about, we call it dabrabayewa. Dabrabayewa, it's like etso or banku. It's made of condo, but this one, we remove the husk first. So the fancies call it entau dokon. It means that they remove the husk from it, so it becomes white. Sorry, entau etso, or another entau embor. Interestingly, when we say embor, among the Jumaku, the Gomuas, and all those fancies, it means that it is the raw condo sorry, it is the cooked condo. But when you go to Cape Coast, and other places, rather means the raw one. It is interesting. Meanwhile, it's the same thing. So you remove the husk of the maize, you grind it. Remember, we are talking about the brabaiwa, and then you prepare the etzel, or you prepare the banku. So some people also call it white etzel, and it can be eaten. But when you move it from that stage to another stage, where you will use dry plantain leaves, like this is a sample of a dry plantain leaf. They are usually bigger than this. And then you use it to cover as if you are doing kenke, the normal fancy kenke. Then you put it on fire and heat it again as if you are doing kenke. Then the second stage becomes what we call the brabaiwa. So the brabaiwa, in simple terms, it's like a white banku that has been recooked after putting them into these, dry leaves. Then we also have the epiti. Some people usually get confused between epiti and bodo, and I'll take them one by one and explain. Epiti is made of soft ripe plantain, and what you do is that you blend it. You can do it in a blender, or you can also grind it in the local earthenware pot, which is like this. You put them inside and you grind it together with your pepper, your tomato, your onion, and everything. And when it's well grounded, you mix it with the soft plantain. Everything goes inside. Some also put in some additional, spices. And after everything is done, then you can use this one, the plantain leaves. You can put them, and then there's a way you can fold them in a particular way, and then you tie it. Or if you like, you can also use another leaf we call abrohaban. That's the one we use to tie wachi. You can do that one, but this one you bake it. You put it in an oven and you bake it. Let me go over the steps. Like you use soft plantain, you blend it together with your onion, with your tomatoes, and then this one, the piti, you add condo. And remember, listen to me very carefully. This one, the condo, you don't let it ferment. Yes, the maize may ferment before you grind it, but you have to use it the same day. If you are doing a piti, you don't grind the corn and then put it there for another day. No, you do it very day that you grind, and then you cover with the leaves, and then you also bake it. Some people even add red oil to give it some red color, red palm nut oil. Others also don't add this thing. And remember, the ripe plantain is already really sweet, so you bake it and it's so sweet. And then the bodo, that usually people confuse epiti with. Bodo, that one, as if you are doing the white etzel or the white, banku. You remove the husk of the maize first, and after you have removed the husk of the maize, you grind it into powder, and then you mix it with water and sugar, and you also bake it. In actual fact, when you go to places like Apam Junction, Winneba Junction, and these two places are very popular. They sell bodo, and somewhere going to Cape Coast too, they sell a lot of bodo over there. And in the Bible, epiti, the one I mentioned earlier, I think the Passover is also called epiti afesha. I don't know how epiti is different from the Jews during that time. Then there's another one a lot of people also don't know about, we called potrokuma. The potrokuma is also like epiti, but the difference is that in the case of epiti, you mix everything, the fried plantain raw, before you bake. Potrokuma is not baked, but that one you rather cook the red oil before you mix it with those spices, and because it has been cooked, you eat it like that. So remember, potrokuma is boiled before you mix with the spices and eat, but the epiti, you mix it raw before you bake it and you eat it. Then we have oto. Oto You can use yam to do oto. You can use semi-ripe plantain also to do, oto. And then you can also use roasted cocoyam. In actual fact, when you're using cocoyam, you have to roast it before you use it, but the others you have to cook them. And then that one, you can also still grind it in the apotoyo, the one that I showed you earlier. You can grind it with, there's a wooden this thing that you can grind it, and then when you finish, you can put either red oil or maybe palm nuts or something. And sometimes you can garnish it with eggs and other things. And in Ghana, among some tribes, when there's puberty rise, they add oto and they put some eggs in it, and it's very, very, very nice. Ghanaian foods are many, and I think we will bring you more. I'm sure some of you want to know the difference between kose and masa. You want to find out what is ahe and all those things, those drinks and food that are prepared in Ghana. So I will leave you with this one, and I will encourage you to teach your children. The Indians, they teach their children what they eat, their culture. The Jews, they do same. So Africans born in diaspora, those living in Africa, were encouraged. We have these beautiful types of foods. So when you come to Ghana, ask for them. They will prepare them for you. They are healthy, they are nice, and they are usually when I go for weddings, because I like apapransa, when it's a buffet or when I go for any party, once I spot apapransa there, I'll just be in the queue. I won't order for any food. That particular one is what I will go for. My brother, some of the foods that we are so obsessed with, it's good for you to taste them. But if you want to grow healthy, if you want to taste something natural, something that is good, think about pusa. Think about Mankini chimi, also called aka or Mankini porhum. Think about the Siata. We also have Mankini chimi poto and piu. I mentioned apapransa. Remember Dabrabaiwa, remember Epiti, remember Bodo, remember Potokuma, remember Otto. This is your friend Ato Brentishan from Prime Testimony channel. Continue watching the videos and subscribe. It's all about healthy Ghanaian food. Remember, it's all about healthy Ghanaian food. Introduce this channel to other people. Thank you very much. God bless you.